Hi, I'm Julian. So I'm from Liquid Coin. So for those of you who have joined the earlier session with Seth, so he was the head of BD at Coin, and our Liquid is our cryptocurrency exchange, and we're regulated by the JFSA in Japan. Okay, so enough of those. Let me get the panelists to actually introduce themselves. Okay.
Okay, so my name is Harpreet Singh Maan. So I'm the CEO of Blockline Technologies in Berhad. We are a blockchain development company, and we do consultation and developers training.
Hi, my name is Eddie. We are part of the Limestone Network, meaning to say we are also the blockchain for smart cities in Cambodia.
Hi there, my name is Jimmy. I'm a full-time trader and also happen to have a social media presence. Started entering crypto like 2.5 years ago. So I'm actually a late adopter, but yeah, I made it my thing.
All right, great. Thanks, guys. So just a bit of background information on this topic. So as we all know, this industry is really new. Blockchain and cryptocurrency is really, really new. And out of all the countries, there are a few countries who actually came up to the forefront and they're actually leading the race. So countries like Singapore, Malta, Japan, and Switzerland, they're all very pro-cryptocurrency, pro-blockchain countries. And like, as we all move on, as the industry actually develops, bigger boys are going to come in, like the US, like countries with big economies like China, they're all going to come in. So guys, what do you guys think? Like, do you think the dynamics might shift?
Well, I think like all these regions, they have their own good points. Like for instance, like Singapore is really like tech-based. Like a lot of technology is emerging here. But if you talk like about a country or a market like Malta, they are way more about loosen up regulation and attracting money. So there's a totally different spaces on why they are attractive for blockchain companies to base there. And it all depends on the government, how loose they are with regulations, or how much they want to be a front runner to attract investors and also companies.
Yeah, and for Singapore-wise, I think the regulators here has been quite open to innovations. Blockchain came out, I think, probably last year. If you notice how our managing director of the MAS has been talking about this, it has always been, it is a risky item if you want to invest in virtual currency. But at the same time, they are embracing the part of the innovation side of things. So for every new innovation, there will be always bad actors who came in and make a very bad spot of the whole industry. But I think right now the whole industry is moving towards kind of the education side, so where people understand how all these things can be all put together and chain up all together.
Yeah, I mean, to look forward, actually, I believe in looking back as well in history. You can see post-World War, you've always been seen, there's always been market leaders in certain technologies in certain areas. And you've seen like different countries played different role in advocating certain technologies, trades, or financial services. And some of them are the leaders today, and others are followers, and also, I'll say, service users. So I'll say this brings up a big new opportunity to bring up new global leaders into the blockchain and the distributed ledger technology space. And the early adopters has a good chance, but if the early adopters keep on persisting and keep on moving forward with the right ideas and keep on embracing new technologies. So they have to embrace changes as well, and you need to be flexible towards the change. So early movers definitely have the advantage, but they have to also keep on being persistent towards the area.
Right. So since we're all here in Singapore, why don't we all just talk about Singapore, right? So, in recent years and all that, Singapore has been investing a lot in blockchain, cryptocurrency, AI, and all that. So, and we've sort of become the go-to place as a cryptocurrency business, as a blockchain business, as an AI business, to actually try to position ourselves here and work through the region, right? So what do you think? Like, what's the impact of Singapore actually welcoming this cryptocurrency? And like, do you think like Singapore will be able to stay relevant in terms of their direction and strategies in the coming future when the bigger industries or the bigger countries actually come in?
Yeah, if you look at how China initially banned the ICO, just I think was it last year? And then when that happens, the business then flows out of China. So we are actually quite glad that Vertex, actually bought some of Binance shares. And then I think for other countries to come along, they probably should be aware that if you were to ban certain things in that country, it actually impacts quite a number of things altogether. For example, the business itself, how the business will spend, how I will recruit the people. All of these things will be flown out of the countries. And then when that happens, I think people who are more open to innovations get to attract talents to come here instead. So I think taking a neutral stand, observing how UK, US is doing it, we also hope that other ASEAN friends will also look at us and then perhaps exchange certain notes to do this more correctly. Yeah.
So, as you see, like coming towards policy changes and towards early adopters and embracers of the technology, definitely Singapore is way ahead of in the world, I would say. And now, as mentioned, like towards the big countries, they have resistance. They do not have such control over their borders and also the public and also the way the companies operate. Singapore being small, they're in that particular space where they actually have enough amount of control and visibility on what is going on in the space and who is doing it and how to actually govern it. But it is also an opportunity to be a global thought leader in the space. So by being ahead, thinking forward, Singapore always has positioned itself to be ahead and to leverage on whatever upcoming technologies where other countries becomes dependent on learning from Singapore and what they call adopting a lot of this technology from Singapore. Because if you really look into talent, and I'll say that is the gold mine of the next industry revolution, and everybody are seeking for that. And if all the talent is here, then it puts Singapore in a very special space.
How about you, Jimmy? You're from the Netherlands. What are your thoughts about?
Yeah. Well, I'm also a partner in like a software company who develops like retail to consumer payment applications. And the thing is, we always grab examples from like China, like WeChat or Alipay. So in this region, you will always be like 2 or maybe even 4 steps ahead. So that's like the reason I think this place will always be the front-running hub of the crypto space. But yeah, besides that, you saw like a total shift from like traditional programmers to blockchain developers. But it also creates like lots of jobs in marketing-wise, because I think one of the difficult aspects of this space is that like for every so-called real-life use case of a real-life problem, there are like 100 projects fighting for the same customer. And I think it should have been like existing companies that should adapt blockchain instead of newly risen companies fighting for consumers to adapt blockchain. I think that's the wrong way around. It should have been blockchain adopted by companies people already know, so it will only improve their user experience. And I think that this region could be the front runner of that revolution.
Right. So I don't think we have much time left. Like we can only cover one question, unfortunately. I think if we go on, I think there will be a lot of nice stuff to talk about. So since you're in the ASEAN region, okay, like apart from Singapore, Hong Kong, and all that, I mean, there are countries like Thailand, we have countries like Cambodia, right? All these countries are countries that are still developing. The economies are still very raw. You know, they're not really on the same stature as Japan or China in the Asian region as well. So, what do you guys notice about the trends in these countries? Like, do you think they can actually benefit in terms of adopting blockchain? Like maybe after the adoption of blockchain or that, you know, you see a rapid development in the industries. Like, what do you guys think?
I'm not so sure about Cambodia, but most of the ASEAN countries is actually already embracing it already. They're already changing on policies. If you look into any technology sector, you need talent, you need demand, you need policy changes, and you need investment. So in this case, a lot of countries are trying to change their policies to what they call add in more investment and to drive more demands into the country, and they already have talent. So in the case like countries like Vietnam, countries like Thailand, countries like Malaysia, so that is where they are. To change a lot of their policies to embrace the technologies. And I'll say that this brings them into a kind of another unique space as well. Because now a lot of enterprises, like as been mentioned by a colleague earlier, a lot of enterprises are also looking into the technology. And they cannot move until the regulations and policies are not changed. So you have a lot of SMEs who actually want to adopt new technologies and want to be frontrunners of technology. And so it is a big demand towards these emerging countries to actually adopt and embrace and change policies.
So for our side, when we are there to do the blockchain and for our hardware infrastructure, I think these are maybe the pilot projects that we are having. We are confident of building that things because we develop and we operate the whole city. As for adopting blockchain in Cambodia, I think different countries have different needs. So for an emerging country like Cambodia, I think the primary fintech item is still going to be on payments. How I remit money from one province to another first. This is still the things that they will require more. The next will be lending. You know, it still comes to traditional lending, and then maybe you can bring in innovation lending, which is the peer-to-peer lending and all. So blockchain come to this, this kind. For them, I think it's really futuristic. And frankly, if you want, and then there's a law that was being passed in Cambodia is that if you want to trade, own, or buy, sell cryptocurrency, is illegal. It has to be getting permission from the authorities first. So again, different countries, it's adopting it differently. Yeah.
Yeah, if you focus on like Bitcoin only, I think there's also a huge step to take. That like a lot of retailers who want to accept Bitcoin, they are like talking with point of sale providers. But I think the biggest problem is if we want to make the next step is that everyone who accepts Bitcoin will sell it for fiat, for USD or Euro or whatever. And that's not the essence of a currency. I mean, so in order to really unlock the potential of these kind of cryptocurrencies, or in this case Bitcoin, it has to be at some point accepted as a currency as it is, and not as a gateway currency to the good old fiat, so to say. So I think there's going to be like a real earthquake in the space needed to achieve such a change of mindset.
Right, great. So we do not have any more time for any more questions, but all of us will be outside having good photos and all that. I mean, feel free to just come on board, approach us and ask us any question. I'm pretty sure that all of us are nice enough to share our opinions with you guys. So I would like to thank everyone for your time, for coming down here today, and I'd like to thank Harpreet, Eddie, and Jimmy for their time as well. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you very much, speakers. Appreciate your input.